Hey guys, it's Shadowstar and Crystal here to discuss the 19th episode of Season 1 of Arrow Unfinished Business.
You say "and Crystal" as if it's usually not with Crystal.
Yeah.
You've never had a video without me.
Have I? Maybe, one day there will be.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll do some separate stuff.
Yeah, because I plan on releasing my top 5 videos. But we're already off track. Let's get back on track and let's start with a good point of this episode, the flashback. This is one of
It just made me think of Karate Kid.
That's a fair point. It does invoke that a lot, but this contains one of my favorite flashback scenes.
Yeah, it did have a nice moment where she opened up to Oliver and he asked questions like, well, this is what Fire's told me. Why was Yao Fei here?
Yeah, I'm so glad we finally have Shadow on the team. I mean, I'm glad we have Slade, but now we have Shadow. It's the proper 3 team we've got. And, you can see Shadow building a dynamic with both Slade and Oliver.
Yeah, they both have an interesting dynamic.
Yeah, but we did get probably the runner-up to the training scene, because we had the training scene in Odyssey where Slade was training him. Now this is Shadow's version.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, this is one of my favorite scenes.
And from their reactions, I'm guessing her training method got better results.
Well, he's just taught him how to use the sticks. Hers uses the bow. But that brings up a slight hiccup. Oliver has already used a bow. Remember?
Yeah.
Like in the 3rd or 4th episode, he aimed at a tree.
And he was terrible at it. He gave it one try, and then he went to go pick up something, and then he got trapped.
Yeah, but the point is, this whole thing, unless it's a whole different bow, because the whole point is that you need a lot of strength to pull back the bow, which is true, which a lot of people forget when watching this.
Which is why he didn't hit the tree.
No, but he still managed to pull back the bow.
Yeah, I guess so.
So I don't know, I guess maybe Yao Fei had a baby bow for him.
I mean, maybe there's different types of bows used for killing a bunny and killing a human.
Yeah, but like we said before, there's no real over-connecting theme with the flashback, although this scene does come in handy much later on with someone else.
Yeah, but for now, they're just continuing the story.
I can't remember when. It might not be till next season. But we've got the flashback, which honestly was my favourite part of the episode.
It was alright.
But I suppose we'll get into the main point of the episode, which is Vertigo.
Yeah, it was okay. I was a little skeptical bringing it back, like, what if it's not as good? What if they ruin it? But it did okay.
It did okay. The first Vertigo episode was definitely better. At least in terms of the Vertigo plot.
Yeah.
Mainly because last time we actually used Cal Vertigo, whereas here he wasn't used much.
Yeah, it turned out it wasn't even him. It was the guys that were in the insane asylum.
Exactly, but I suppose the episode mainly deals with 2 dynamics. We've got Oliver and Diggle needing to learn to be a better team, because Oliver only does what he wants, and Diggle's going off and doing things without telling Oliver. And then we've got the Tommy plot.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
I mean, they made a big deal about it, but I think Lance really was justified because, they paying a guy to not do an inspection, that is kind of suspicious.
Yeah, I know, that's a weird thing I was thinking. He didn't do anything, like he said, when he came to the apartment, if I didn't come here, another cop would have anyway, so he probably thought it would have been easier. Yeah. But I guess going there, they thought it made it personal when it really wasn't.
I think Tommy did that to hide the Arrow stuff. But I'm guessing he didn't bother to discuss it with Oliver, and he didn't know that Oliver could so easily just hide everything.
No, it was Tommy who hid everything.
Oh.
You could see that when Oliver goes downstairs, and you can see it in his face. Tommy was the one who had everything prepared. At least I think. I can never figure that one out.
Yeah, I thought Oliver had it prepared in case of emergency.
Still, how the hell did he hide all that stuff?
Yeah.
It would have got a lot harder later in later seasons too, when it's a lot more
I
tricky.
know, if you just move it to another room, surely Lance would say, well, we haven't looked everywhere.
Where did he hide all that stuff? He just would have had to put all the computers in boxes. Then he would have had to... Because it's not like... At least it's not like later seasons where where he has a big display case for the suit.
Yeah, that'd be difficult.
It's just a bunch of... Yeah, it's just some stuff he trains on and the computers and stuff.
And I know I don't need to bring it up because it's not in this episode, but I always thought it was silly that he had mannequins and display cases, because if he wants to wear the suit, he has to take it off the mannequin. Like, I worked in a clothes shop. You know how annoying it is to undress a mannequin?
And then put it on himself.
Yeah, because there were times when a customer would want something that was on a mannequin. I'd take it off the mannequin, let them try it on, and then they decide they don't even want it anyway, so I have to redress the mannequin.
Yeah.
Like, it makes sense with the Flash.
Because he can do it fast, that's fine. But even... Yeah, I know. Even still, it gets worse in later... It gets worse in, like, later Arrow episodes where you've got several characters who all need to get changed into their crazy outfits and then rush off. It's like, by the time you get there...
How the hell does Curtis do his hair?
And his makeup. How the hell does anyone get there in time? They still get there and the action's still there. It's like, that'd be like a 10-minute drive on your motorcycle, at least.
Yeah, they act like they're the Flash.
I know. But, yeah...
Like, that was what I thought of the first time when Barry lost his speed one time, and then he went to go talk to someone as the Flash, and he had to put on the suit, and I'm just thinking, wouldn't it be so annoying to have to take that suit off the mannequin and put it on?
I mean, from Barry's perspective, he's still doing it at normal speed.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think of that.
From Barry's perspective, it's slow. But enough about Barry. We've got plenty of time to talk about...
He doesn't even exist yet.
Well, yes, he does. It's just working. But, yeah, we had the Tommy stuff. We'll continue with this Tommy stuff because, as well as being an episode for Quentin to have a bit of a side plot, we also have a bit of a... Well, this is a falling out between Tommy and Oliver.
Yeah, just because of some trust issues.
Yeah, I guess so. I always lose track halfway through. Suddenly Oliver doesn't trust him. I guess it's because I guess he realized a part of Oliver actually thought maybe something did happen.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he wasn't sure if he can trust Tommy. For a moment, he thought maybe he did sell the drugs.
Which only hammers home Tommy's point even harder. Because if Oliver really had been at the club working, he'd know what was going on. As Tommy said, he barely works. Because to Oliver, this is just an excuse.
Yeah, Tommy is perfectly justified in all of this.
Yeah, I know. Although I remember the next few episodes, Tommy gets worse. But for this episode, he at least makes sense.
Yeah.
Although, like you said, they did make a weird dramatic bit at the end where he goes back to his dad.
Yeah, I was just... The music makes it sound like he's joining up to do the bad stuff. He's just asking for a job.
Yeah, I know. It's like in bad lighting, there's a dramatic turnaround. It's so weird.
Yeah.
But that was a Tommy plot. There wasn't much...
Speaking of suspicious things like that... when we've been doing this, I've been trying to watch it through the perspective of someone who's up to this.
Yeah.
And when we had that scene with Lila, I got this feeling of, we know better, but from the perspective of not knowing, Diggle's talking to this mysterious person from some organization we don't know about and can't tell Oliver about it. And it just makes you think, what if he was so desperate to get Deadshot that he was hiring someone that's not completely ethical?
Maybe, but you can also see they seem to have a friendly dynamic. But I suppose that's a good segue onto the Diggle plot, which I didn't realize this at first, but it's so weird to think this is the first appearance of Lila.
Yeah.
It's also so crazy. She barely. It's hard to recognize her this early on.
Yeah, not only does she look different, but also their relationship has come a long way. Like, yes, they're old friends, but she doesn't seem like a possible love interest at this point.
Yeah, I know. Because they're still toying around with the idea of Dougal and Carly. I can't remember when that stops and when it changes to Lila.
Yeah.
I honestly, that's the thing, it blurs together. It just feels like 1 minute they're together, 1 minute they're not. Actually, I think I remember the episode they might get together. I think.
Mm.
But that's in season 2. But this episode did feel very quick.
I didn't feel that.
Not in a bad way, but it just didn't. Well, like I said, it doesn't have a lot of plots. You've got a bit of stuff with Diggle, which is just some side stuff. Although it does set up. I don't think it's the next episode because I know what the next one is, but I know another episode coming up with that plot, and I don't know if it's soon. But it does set up that, and you got the Tommy falling out side plot, and I suppose Vertigo. That's the thing. Once again, the main plot. It wasn't bad, but it was also the least interesting in terms of just Oliver catching Vertigo.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting, the twist that it wasn't actually the Count doing it.
Yeah, I guess, but yeah. For me, the highlight of this episode is actually the flashback, which is a rare thing in an episode which... It's not like the Odyssey where that episode was meant to be a flashback episode. This was just a small scene, but I just really enjoy that scene. And I really enjoy Shadow's character, too.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't help feeling like they were copying Karate Kid, but it was good, I guess.
I guess, but eventually you're copying everything, so...
Yeah, it's okay.
But, yeah, that's...
One little comment I had was, especially in season 1, they do a good job of establishing, telling us about people through little comments here and there, especially with Felicity. I liked that tiny little comment where she says the only experience she's had with drugs was an accidental brownie in freshman year or something, because that just shows us how innocent she is, and I like having that perspective.
I guess, but I say that kind of conflicts a little bit.
I don't know, I kind of like having the dynamic of having someone so innocent.
But
who's
no,
never
I say
dealt
that's
with-
contradictory then, because this sets up that she was innocent in college, but we'll later see what she was like in college.
True. And
Yeah.
I didn't like that change later on because I like having the perspective of someone innocent who never dealt with illegal stuff being on this team.
Yeah, I know, it does feel, I mean, not to go against that episode I'm referring to, because I enjoy it, but it does feel like Felicity's kind of a 180, where they, on one hand, they want to set her up as this person who's completely innocent and out of it, but then they start to do episodes that show she wasn't. But we'll get to Felicity later. This episode didn't have much Felicity, because, like we said, they weren't really building to anything with Felicity.
But that's what I liked was, even though she wasn't in it much, we still learned something about her.
Yeah, she's just a fun little side character, which is what a lot of people would have preferred she stayed, but for now, that's what the show had, because it's not until season 2 where she's booked as a regular. But, yeah, like I said, this episode, it didn't have too much plots going on, but it wasn't a bad episode. It wasn't as good as last episode, but it had some nice side plots with the flashback and everything, but...
Yeah, you're right. Now that we're talking about it, it does feel like it went by fast. Like, it feels like there's not much to talk about.
Yeah, because you can sum up everything pretty quickly. It's just because it had a lot of scenes for the Vertigo stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
But anyway, I suppose there's not much left. I mean, like I said, the episode went fast, but it wasn't bad.
I don't want to go too high, but I don't want to go low.
I can't think of it.
Like 7 would work.
I can't think of any bad... 7, you gave 7 last time. I can't think of any really bad points of the episode there.
Yeah, exactly.
I can't think of a bad point. It was just, like I said, this version of Vertigo wasn't as good as the first version. But both side plots, even though they've got some drama, I didn't find them to be annoying like other times.
Yeah, I quite enjoyed the side stuff.
Yeah, but I'm thinking maybe 6 or 6.5. What are you thinking?
I'll stick with 7. It was pretty good.
7's what you said last time, but you say 7?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 6.5 because I did enjoy last one better.
Okay, that works.
So I'm saying 6.5, you're saying 7, and next episode is episode 20. 4 episodes left, and I think I remember what happens next episode. It's an episode I remember enjoying the pieces I remember.
Just looking at the episode title, I still have no idea what it could be.
It's very rare that you can guess by an episode title.
Yeah, I guess so.
It was process of elimination for me because I know what's coming, and I'm thinking, oh wait, we haven't had this episode. I think that's what the episode's referring to. But that's because I can usually remember, oh, this episode hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
And I know it has to happen soon, but anyway, enough about next episode. You'll have to wait till next time to see that. Until then, if you enjoyed this episode, and if you enjoyed our reviews, hit like, hit comment. It's always fun. See you next time for the next episode. Episode 20 is next time.